Yes, and you're waking up with Damo here on 4WK. It's just gone 11 minutes to 8, and now we need to get some history in your ears, and that is, of course, from History Out There with Harold Peacock. And this morning he has a story from a century ago that was Toowoomba's Halloween from Hell. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. The man himself is on the line. Good morning, Harold.
Yes, good morning, Damo. Your Thursday is Halloween, and there's people commemorate it all sorts of ways. So I thought I'd share with you something that happened 100 years ago. It's a bit spooky, so brace yourself.
Well, I'm strapped in, ready to go. So over to you.
Yeah, look, it was a century ago this week in 1924 that something happened for one Halloween event in Toowoomba that led to a number of awful incidents that seemingly came straight from hell. It was the Halloween night held by the Caledonian Society in the old Philharmonic Hall on Harry Street. Now, the question arises, did the president sell his soul to fulfill political ambition? Because a number of people there that night had their lives horribly affected. Now, first up, Ken Hillocks. Ken won the prize for Best Poster for Halloween. Now, later on, a rifle he was carrying exploded, shooting him in the chest. He survived, but later when he knocked on the door of a bookmaker in Market Street, the man answered and dropped dead in his arms. Then there was Melba Sixton. She came to Halloween dressed as a half-woman, half-man. Afterwards, her father was convicted of theft, even though he claimed that he had been drunk for a week and had not been aware of stealing anything. Now, Melba then married a man who had been convicted of theft that involved smashing a shop window on Raff Street and a fully loaded revolver. Her life was just going off track. Melba was the first of 3 wives for the man, and none of them fared well. By the time Melba turned 33, she was dead. And then there was a chieftain of Toowoomba's Caledonian Society. He was Dr. David Horn. Now, the night of the event, he spoke of the spirits of Halloween. Not long afterwards, the doctor's mother visited Tara on the Western Downs, hoping that a change of air would do her good. But as soon as she got there, the woman dropped dead. In a seemingly unrelated manner, the long-time Deputy Mayor of Toowoomba, Alderman Ronald Rupert Rushmore Rivet, unexpectedly resigned. Now, he was one of the best-known people in town. He was charged with stealing a Studebaker car valued at over £100. His arrest caused a sensation in Toowoomba. It was eventually found that he had no case to answer, but the damage had been done. Not only did Rivet lose his job as deputy mayor, but his son, who was a bank clerk, would be killed in a freak accident during the Second World War. Now, the man who benefited from Rivet's fall from grace was Alderman Alexander Cathro. Now, when presented with the opportunity, Cathro grabbed the office of Deputy Mayor. Today, there's even a Cathro Park in Toowoomba named after him. The fact is, Cathro was chairman of the Caledonian Society at the time of that 1924 Halloween from Hell. He was a champion at hammer throwing, tossing the caber, and wrestling. You know, we'd all wish we could be, but the committee of the Caledonian Society itself then appeared cursed. It was not long afterwards that the president, James McLeod, treasurer Robert McAlpine, and committee member, the former Toowoomba mayor, Robert Sinclair, all died suddenly and in rapid succession. So, Damo, one wonders, did Alexander Cathro sell his soul for the benefit of his political ambition? And was the price he paid the lives of those around him on Halloween 100 years ago this week?
Well, I think there might have been something a little bit untoward going on there, don't you?
Well, I don't know. It's a bit spooky. Like, I don't want people ringing up and saying, "Oh, look, what are you doing? You know, you're creating all sorts of mayhem in Toowoomba." But hey, I'm just reporting on history, and I thought it was an interesting story a century ago this week for Halloween.
Well, it certainly beats trick-or-treating, doesn't it?
Oh, jeez, definitely tricking going on there.
That's right, exactly. Now, we can read this story online, can't we?
Absolutely. You can find history out there on all the socials, or go to the website historyoutThere.com.au.
Fantastic, mate. Always appreciated, and that's going to set the scene very nicely for the upcoming celebrations for Halloween. So we'll all have that in the back of our minds now. You know that, don't you?
Oh, look, you're walking down the streets of Toowoomba. There's always something in the back of your mind going on there.
It certainly is. Hey, listen, you have a great week, mate, and we'll look forward to catching up again next week.
You too. Happy Halloween.
All right, there we go. Harold Peacock, and jump onto the website historyouthere.com and you'll be able to catch up with that story and many others as well. It's always a fantastic insight into our local history. We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment.